the centre has come out strongly in defence of the Great Nicobar Project, pushing back against the opposition's sharp criticism.
I'm standing in the Nicobar Islands in the middle of what is easily the most beautiful forest that I've ever seen in my life. And what is happening here is that all these trees are going to be cut.
Imagine a courtroom. On one side, the government of India, which says a tiny island at very bottom of our map is a national security fortress. On the other side, the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, who travelled to that island, looked into a camera and said the entire story is a lie, a cover so that one businessman can build hotels and casinos on India's most irreplaceable land. But both can't be fully true. So today, we are not going to pick a side and shout. We are going to do something rare. We will hear the charge, we will hear the defense, and then look at the actual evidence and let you deliver the verdict. This is the fight over the Great Nicobar Project, and it matters right now because this is 81,000 crore decision that once these three falls can never be undone. Let's begin. The charge. On June 5, World Environmental Day, Rahul Gandhi released a video shot during his visit to the islands. His accusation has three parts and you need all three. 1. The defense story is fake. He said plainly, the government tells you this is about defense. It is not. And he made a clever disarming move. He said if defense were really the priority, the government should just expand the naval base INS Bass. And that the Navy had been asking for that expansion for 5 years and been ignored. In other words, I am not anti-military, I am pro-military. Exactly why I don't buy your story. 2. The port makes no sense. He argued a transshipment port here is a non-starter because India is already building one in Kerala. 3. The real beneficiary. This is the explosive part. He named Gautam Adani and said project's backers are aiding big in the Navy, big in the force to steal Indian land. He claimed more than 1.5 crore trees, ancient coral reefs and rainforest are being destroyed to profit one businessman and urged Indian to sign a petition. We choose green over greed. That's the charge. Powerful, emotional and specific. The defense. The government's case rests on one word, geography. Look at where this island sits. Great Nicobar is right next to Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, with natural water depth over 20 meters, ideal for a deep sea port. The government says the project is designed to enhance the national security and India's strategic presence in Andaman Sea and Southeast Asia. And here is the China's angle that makes strategists pay attention. Around 80% of China's oil imports passes through Malacca Strait. Analysts called the Great Nicobar a natural forward operating platform, a permanent sovereign piece of geography. This is not about the political spin. Strategic analysts describe the Andaman and Nicobar China as a 700-kilometer natural aircraft carrier guarding the entrance of Strait of Malacca and call the project a potential masterstroke for monitoring China's naval movement. There is also an economic logic. A port here could capture cargo that India currently sends through Colombo, Singapore and Klang, keeping that business and the money at home. So the defense says this is real, this is strategic and opposing its place into China's hand. In fact, BJP has gone further and alleged the Congress has links to China, a charge that, to be clear, remains unsustainable. Two confident stories. Now let's discuss the part most kept, the evidence. Let's test each claim against what we can actually verify. Evidence point 1. Is it really 5% defense? This is the strongest crack in the government's armor. Over 70 scientists and scholars wrote to the environment minister pointing out that the dual-use military airport is only about 5% of project area, while the commercial township and the port for 3.5 lakh people make up the vast majority. They call it insecure to label an essential commercial project as a strategic and innovate the national security whenever questions are raised. So Rahul's core instinct that strategic is doing heavy lifting as real expert backing. Evidence point 2. The Adani claim. Here you must be precise. and this is where Rahul overreaches. Adani Port was just one of the 10 companies that filed expression of interest for the port back in 2023. No port contract has been publicly awarded to him, so naming a specific businessman as a beneficiary is as of now an allegation, not a proven fact. And stating it as a fact is exactly the kind of overreach that lets the government dodge the harder questions. Evidence point 3. The numbers. Rahul says 1.5 crore trees. The widely reported figure, including the government's own framing, is close to 1 million, about 9.6 lakh. Even independent ecologists who accuse the government of underestimating the talk about the figure near 1 crore, not 1.5. So the destruction is massive and real, but his specific number is on the high end. Evidence point 4, and this one is bigger than the politics. Great Nicobar sits on an active seismic fault. The 2004 tsunami sank its southern tip by about 15 feet, and 39 genocide scholars from 13 countries warned a public population of 3.5 lakh people could be a death sentence for 1,700 Shompen and Nicobaris who have a little immunity to outside disease. And the court agrees there are questions. The National Green Tribunal set up a committee to re-examine the environment clearance. So, what does the evidence actually says? Let's deliver the verdict. Here is the truth that neither side will tell you, because it's less useful for a soundbite. Both sides are partly right, and both are being little dishonest. The government is right that India needs strategic depth near the Malacca Strait. That logic is genuinely sound. And Watchful India, China's most vulnerable checkpoint, is a real national security asset. But the critics are also right that calling a project which is mostly commercial city and the port a pure national security mission is a way to make every environmental question look unpatriotic. You can't wave a flag over 95% of project that isn't military. And Rahul Gandhi is right to force this debate about a million trees, a fragile tribe, and the port on an earthquake fault. Those concerns are serious and permanent. But by reaching for a specific businessman's name with no awarded contract, he hands the government an easy escape. Now, whether we should build a 3.5 lakh person city on one of the most fragile places in India? Because here is the core honest part of it. You want a strong Indian Navy in Andaman and ask whether this is a practical design, this much commercial construction, this many trees, these tribes, this fault line is the right way to get there? Those two things were never opposite. The tragedy is that our politics turned a question that deserve a careful evidence-based debate rather than a blame. So, I'll hand you the verdict. Knowing what you know now, the geography, the 5% military reality, the tribe, the fault line, do you think the Great Nicobar Project should go ahead as a design, be redesigned, or be stopped? Tell me below and tell me why. If you have been to Andamans, I especially want to hear from you. I read every comment. And if this video gave you both sides instead of one, send it to someone who has been shown only half of the story. See you in the next one.